Hello and welcome to another video. Let's get straight into it. Capture cards. What are they for? When do you need one? Well, you don't need one if you're streaming from a single PC because OBS captures your image and streams it for you without a problem. But if you want to stream from your console and run the HDMI into your PC, you will need a capture card to capture that image. It's an HDMI pass-through, and there's two specifications you should be concerned with when looking for a capture card. One is the pass through. So in short, will it pass through a 4K image? If you're running a 4K image into one side, will it run it out in 4K the other, or will it reduce it to 1080p? You need to know what the maximum pass through is for the refresh rate and the resolution. That's what it does. What doesn't it do? A lot of people seem to be under the impression that a capture card will in some way reduce the load on your PC. I hear people say, I'm dropping frames in OBS, would a capture card help? No, all it's doing is getting the image there. If you're dropping frames in OBS, that will be some issue with either your internet or the encoding. So you need to really address that. A capture card isn't going to help with that at all. I will leave a link in the description to my OBS encoder YouTube video. So when you're choosing a capture card, first of all, consider, do you want an internal or an external card? If you get an internal one, it's more like a small graphics card to plug internally. Very good bandwidth with that. If you've got external, it's going to use USB. You'll probably need USB 3 for that. If you plugged it in a 2, you're likely to get sort of graphical images. And what are you going to do with the image? What do you need the image that you are going to capture? What are you using it for? How high refresh rate does that need to be? So if you're capturing something like a Switch or a PS4 or an Xbox One or older that's 60 frames per second, either of these top two cards will do a great job. The first one I bought, I've owned all four of these cards. This is one I bought because two people I knew had it, used it for capturing their PS4, and it did a really good job, and they were very happy with it. I was very surprised that this cost around £20, around $25. I was very surprised at how good the picture quality was on this. Unfortunately for me, the longer I streamed, the more out of sync the sound got. I don't know why I had that problem, whether it was something particularly with the one I got or what, I don't know. But it was very disappointing to have to send that back because that would have been a bargain at £20. And I know people that have been using them for several years. If you can find something around that price point with good reviews, give it a try. I know people that have got cheaper capture cards like this that have been serving them very well. So maybe ask around for recommendations from people you actually know. So after returning that, I went with this. I think it was around £80 at the time. So about 4 times more expensive. What I particularly liked about this is this records at a maximum of 1080p, but it does pass through a 4K image. And I wanted this to capture a PlayStation 5. So it will record 1080p at 60 frames per second, but coming out of the other side, I've just got a picture on the back. There you go. You run your PlayStation in there and then come out from the monitor. The image that comes out here will be 4K if you've run a 4K in. Internally, the card records in 1080p, which is absolutely fine. In my opinion, you don't need more than 1080p to stream. This was phenomenally reliable. Unfortunately, I later ended up dual PC streaming with a 144Hz monitor and needed a high refresh card. This card served me so well, though, was so reliable. I never needed to unplug it and plug it back in. It was so good. I've kept this as a spare, as a backup card. Yeah, I have good things to say about that. I've recommended that to quite a few people, and they all liked it. And as far as I know, they're all still using it. So I had to go high refresh. So you're looking at the bottom two. I ordered this one. On the day I first streamed with this, several people said to me, the image looks particularly sharp today. This did a really good job. Unfortunately, I got the occasional lockup with this, with the image freezing. Not on my screen, it didn't affect my gameplay, but it would lock up in OBS. The image would just stick in OBS. People could still hear me, but the gameplay stuck still. My camera was still moving. I'd unplug it and plug it back in, it would be fine. After much research, I found out that it had a particular problem with my X470 motherboard. Other people were complaining that had that model of motherboard. No driver update seemed to fix it at that time. Lots of people have got this and really like it. It's 4.4 stars out of 5. This will pass through 144 hertz. This is why I needed this. I've got a 1440p monitor and I wanted to play at 144 hertz. So the other two, the top two cards would not do this. And it worked very well. And just these occasional little lockups that I end up having to return it very reluctantly because I really liked it. It's really quite small. It's about the size of an audio cassette, if I remember rightly. USB Type-C connection to the PC. HDMI 2.0 pass-through, like I say, high refresh, which is what you're looking for if you want to play a PS5 at 120 hertz high refresh, or you're running a PC through it with high refresh. Yeah, very reluctant to have to return that. At this point, I bought this, which I've still got today. This has been on a dual PC setup, been used Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day for the last 2 years with never a problem. I recommend this card to everyone. If they want an internal card, you will need a free graphics card slot. It passes through 4K. It also records 4K. Not really a lot of use to me. I don't want to record anything in 4K, but I could if I wanted to. It also passes through 144 hertz at 1440p, and I believe it records at 144 frames per second if you needed to. I think it supports HDR. Again, I don't want to stream in HDR, but if I wanted to record anything in HDR, that would be very good. It's very low latency, and at 1080p pass through, it will do 240 hertz. One thing is the PlayStation 5 doesn't have an optical out. The PS4 had one. There isn't any way to run the sound out on the PlayStation 5, so I couldn't get the sound to my Go XLR while using this card. So I just bought this, a little audio extractor. I think it was on offer at £20, around $25. You just put it on the cable like that, and it gives you, where's the picture? It gives you two choices of audio out, an optical or a stereo, to run to your Go XLR. So that's how I get around that. There will be links in the description to Amazon for everything that I've shown on screen today. Disclaimer, I haven't owned this next card. This is the new version of the card that I just showed you that I've owned for the last 2 years and used every day for the last 2 years. This is HDMI 2.1 though. This will do high refresh and 4K at the same time. So if you're on a 4K monitor or on a 4K TV, and they both support 120 hertz, or either supports 120 hertz, and you want to play at 4K 120 hertz, this is 2.1. So that is really yeah, just an upgrade to this one here. It is more money, and if you're not playing on a TV and on a 1440p monitor, I don't really have any need for this at this stage, but that will possibly be the next card I need. I get if I do have to upgrade at any point. Like I say, yeah, I can't speak highly enough about this. This is so good that I don't have to have any software for it. I plugged it in, I installed the driver, and it's just worked flawlessly every day, and the pass-through is exceptional. I'm using it right now. It's on all day, every day. Phenomenally good. So, yeah, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing something at 60 hertz or 60 frames per second, an older console, anything like this will be good for you. If you go in high refresh, you will need something that specifically says it does 144 hertz or whatever refresh rate you're looking for as the pass-through. So you're looking at the bottom two cards. Yeah, it's on some level, I kind of recommend all of these cards. That was extremely good value. That was very good value for how long it lasts. It's just a pity it didn't do high refresh. I really like that. It just didn't work my motherboard, and I've been using this for 2 years. So yeah, they're all cards that I've spent some time with, and on some level I could recommend all of them. If you have any questions regarding any of this, feel free to leave the question in the comments, and I will try and get around to answering it. If this was any use to you at all, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.